Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Let's recite Bhagavad Gita Sloka. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 12, text 9. Yes, if anybody needs to go first, please raise your hand. Priyankari Priyamataji, you can start.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
अथ चित्तं समादातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो माम् इच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
Thank you. Anyone else need to go first? So we'll go in order. Aditi Lata Mataji, Arunita, Nachinta. Not ready? Okay, so next would be Isha, Krishna, Shish, Madhava and Rasapriya. Not ready? Isha.
अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
Krishna, Shish.
अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
Rasapriya.
Atachittam samadhatum na saknosi mai stharam abhyasayogena My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulated principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
Next is Usha Mataji and Medha. Actually, Lokesh is also here. Lokesh can go first.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Dandavat pranam Mataji, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोसि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो माम् इच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Thank you, Mataji.
Lokesh.
Just a minute, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Chitta samadhatam na shaknosi mai sthiram abhyasan yogayukte
Abhyasa yogena tato
abhyasa yogena tato mam
chaptum
dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop the desire to attain me. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Usha Mataji and Medha.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Atha chittam samadhutam samadhatum na sankoshi mayi stiram abhyasa yogena tato mam ichaptum dhananjaya. Translation. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Medha is not here.
Not there. Okay. Narsimha Leela Chaitanya Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Atha chittam samadhatam na
Shaknoshi
mai sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mam
Ichaptum
ichaptum
Dhananjaya.
Translation. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Krishna.
Next. That's all.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, God bless you.
Dandavat pranam Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
अथ चित्तं समादातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो माम् इच्छाप्तं धनञ्जय. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anna's pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
अथ चित्तं समादातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय. Translation: My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. And Suhrad is not here.
Okay. So next is Saujanya Mataji and Pragya.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Ata Chittam Samadhitum
Samadhatu.
Ata Chittam Samadhatum na Shaknoshi Mayi Sthiram Abhyasa Yogena Tato Mamichaptam Dhanam Jaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pragya. Not ready? I can come back later. Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Abhyasayogena tato mam ichhaptam dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Arunita?
He's not here at the moment.
She's not there. So, did everyone else recite? Pragnya is ready?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Atha chittam samadatum na saksnosi mayi stiram abhyasya yogena tato mamichhaptum dhanati jaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Okay, I'll recite Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, text 9. Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mayi sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. Let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 17. So we are reading about the descendants of King Pururava in Chandravamsa. So what did we read about the descendants from Pururava? Pururava had how many children? How many sons did Pururava have?
6.
6. Yes, 6. What are the names of the 6 sons? Ayu, Shrutayu, Satyayu. Not able to remember? Ayu, Shrutayu, Satyayu. Huh? Puru. No, that comes later. So the 6 sons of Pururava. And then who are the other 3? Don't remember. Jaya, Vijaya and Raya. 6. Ayu, Shrutayu, Satyayu, Jaya, Vijaya and Raya. So of these, now we are reading about the sons of Ayu. How many sons did Ayu have?
5.
5. Yes.
I just remember the numbers.
Yes, 5. So who's the first one of the 5? The person we are going to read about today.
Nahush.
Yes, Nahush. And then the other 4 we read already. We had Kshatra Vriddha, then we had Raji and Anena, right? And Kshatra Vriddha, Raji, Anena and what's the name? I think Rabha.
Rabha, yeah, something like that. Maybe, yeah.
Yes. So now we are reading, so we read about the others and their descendants, and that chapter ended there. And now we are reading about King Nahusha's dynasty, who came after Nahusha and the pastimes involved there, or the stories, the history involved there. So in this chapter, chapter 17, we read, Sukadeva Goswami said, O King Parikshit, as the embodied soul has six senses, King Nahusha had 6 sons. Okay, so we saw King Pururava had 6 sons. Then the eldest one, Ayu, had 5 sons. And now the eldest Nahusha has again 6 sons. What are the names of the 6 sons of Nahusha? Yati, Yayati, Samyati, Ayati, Vyati, and Kriti. Okay, King Nahusha had 6 sons. Yati, Yayati, Samyati, Ayati, Vyati, and Kriti. Now we'll read text 2. Who's supposed to start today? Priyanka Mataji.
Me,
Okay.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Text 2. Rajyam naichhadyati hi pitra tattam tatparinamavid yatra pravishtaha purusha atmanam navabudhyate.
When one enters the post of king or head of the government, one cannot understand the meaning of self-realization. Knowing this, Yati, the eldest son of Nahush, did not accept the power to rule, although it was offered by his father.
Yes. So we said Nahusha had 6 sons. The eldest is Yati. You know what Yati means? Yati? Yati means a sannyasi. Yeah, Yati means a sannyasi. In Gita Sarartha Lesha, which is not Gita Sarartha Lesha, but Sarartha Varshini Tika by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur on Bhagavad Gita, there in the beginning in Mangalacharna, in glorification of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says Yati. He doesn't take the name Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says Yati. So that Yati is who? That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So anyway, here the 6 sons of Nahusha, the eldest is Yati. So what about Yati? when one enters the post of king or head of the government, one cannot understand the meaning of self-realization. Why? Because just like from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes we see, although King Prataprudra was a devotee, still Mahaprabhu, in order to set an example in society, playing the role of a sannyasi, did not want to see Prataprudra Maharaj. Why? Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want to see Prataprudra Maharaj? Anyone knows? Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want to see?
Because he was opulent and he was a king.
Yes, because he was a king and therefore he would be closely associating with wealth and women, which are actually Kanaka Kamini, right? Kanaka means gold, Kamini means woman or opposite sex. These are the two greatest pitfalls or dangers for a sannyasi. He should stay away from gold and from the opposite sex, women. So, and a king is always dealing with wealth. He maintains a treasury and he has so many wives and maid servants, isn't it? So for a sannyasi, not good. Therefore, Mahaprabhu would not see Prataprudra. So similarly, Yati also felt, what to speak of if you yourself became the king. Now you will have to deal with money and women. Then what's the problem? He will not be able to understand the meaning of self-realization. Yeah, he won't be able to understand the meaning of self-realization. If you are, it's just like, see, Kshatriyas are in which mode? Kshatriyas are in which mode of nature? Passion. Yes, passion. Yeah. So when you're in the modes of passion and ignorance, knowledge won't be born there. What type of knowledge are we talking about? The knowledge of self-realization, that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. This knowledge will not appear where the mode of passion or ignorance is prominent. Knowledge is born in the mode of goodness. Knowledge, which knowledge? That I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. This type of knowledge will be born in the mode of goodness, not in passion and ignorance. And Kshatriyas are, that body of a Kshatriya is in the mode of passion. Then why somebody gets that body? Because he has that type of karma and he has associated with the mode of passion. So he gets a body also in the mode of passion. So first of all, playing the role of a Kshatriya, becoming a king, that means you're in passion. So when you're always in the mode of passion, how knowledge will be born there? Knowledge of self-realization. So considering like this, the eldest son of Nahusha did not accept the kingdom. Rather, we'll see what he did instead of accepting the kingdom, right? He didn't want the power to rule. Why he didn't want? Because he understood that anyone who takes the post of a king cannot understand the meaning of self-realization. And for him, self-realization was more important than some power. Even if it is the power of the king or an emperor, it was very insignificant for him in comparison to self-realization. So even though, now being the eldest son, the kingdom was offered to him, to the eldest son Yati, but he refused to accept that post. Purport? So who is next? Saujanya Mataji and Pragnya, right? I think so. Yeah, go ahead. Purport.
Self-realization is the prime objective of human civilization. and it is regarded seriously by those who are situated in the mode of goodness and have developed the Brahminical qualities. Kshatriyas are generally endowed with material qualities conducive to gaining material wealth and enjoying sense gratification. But those who are spiritually advanced are not interested in material opulence. Indeed, they accept only the bare necessities for a life of spiritual advancement in self realization. It is specially mentioned here that if one enters political life, especially in the modern day, one loses the chance for human perfection. Nonetheless, one can attain the highest perfection if one hears Srimad Bhagavatam. This hearing is described as Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Maharaj Parikshit was involved in politics, but because at the end of his life he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami, he attained perfection very easily. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore suggested Sthane Sthita Stuti Shruti Gatam Tanuvan Manobhir Ye Prayaso Jita Jitopi Asites Trilokyam. Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, and 3rd verse. Regardless of whether one is in mode of passion, ignorance, or goodness, if one regularly hears Srimad Bhagavatam from the self realized soul, one is freed from the bondage of material involvement.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada is giving the solution also. So, how to translate this to our condition in the present situation? So, first of all, as already explained, the Brahminical qualities means mode of goodness. Self-realization is the prime objective of human civilization, and it is regarded seriously by those who are situated in the mode of goodness and have developed the Brahminical qualities. So, if you want to become serious about self-realization, then you must come to the mode of goodness. Okay? Because when one is in the mode of goodness, self-realization becomes his first priority in life, not anything else. Self-realization becomes his priority if he is in the mode of goodness. Kshatriyas are generally endowed with material qualities conducive to gaining material wealth, enjoying sense gratification. That is mode of passion, right? What are the two symptoms of the mode of passion from Bhagavad Gita? What are the two symptoms of the mode of passion? Hankering, right? Hankering, desires, unlimited desires, hankering, and I forget the other one. You work very hard. That's the mode of passion. Well, to fulfill your desires, you're working very hard. This is the mode of passion. So Kshatriyas are, Kshatriya's life is conducive to this. Having a lot of desires for sense gratification and actually attaining those by working hard and then enjoying those results, right? So mode of passion means sense gratification, hankering, intense desires, and of course, when the desires are not fulfilled, then it turns into anger. So, Kshatriyas are endowed with material qualities conducive to gaining material wealth and enjoying sense gratification. So, these are the qualities of goodness and passion, or Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. But those who are spiritually advanced are not interested in material opulence. That means, even though one may be a Kshatriya, if he is spiritually advanced, so You have to be very careful when you read this purport. General tendencies, we will think that, oh, so if one is spiritually advanced, then there is no need, right? It does not matter. Even if you are a Kshatriya, then you won't be affected, isn't it? You won't be affected by the mode of passion because you're spiritually advanced. And we tend to think that because we have joined the Krishna consciousness movement, automatically we fall in this category of being spiritually advanced. Therefore, we are free from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance, which is not true. When you are actually spiritually advanced, that means when you're in pure devotional platform, pure devotional service platform, right? What is that verse? 14:26. Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Avyabhicharena, avyabhicharini bhakti. Mam chayo avyabhichareణ bhakti yogena sevate. Sagunan samati ityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Then he transcends the mode. That means even though he may be in this material world, he may be surrounded by modes of passion and ignorance and goodness, but if he is engaged in avyabhicharini bhakti, what is avyabhicharini bhakti? Ananya bhakti, right? Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulena krishnanushilanam. That means 24/7 he is doing direct devotional service to Krishna, and he does not expect anything in return for his service, devotional service, save and accept Krishna's pleasure. This is avyabhicharini bhakti. When one does this type of bhakti, then sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. He transcends the modes of material nature. So that is important. So Srila Prabhupada gave the example of Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor, and as an emperor, he's a Kshatriya. He's doing his duties. But at the end of his life, he was able to completely absorb himself in the Supreme Lord and get the highest destination by going back to Godhead. So, if you are actually spiritually advanced, that means you're rendering avyabhicharini bhakti, ananya bhakti, then even though you may be a king or kshatriya, or it does not matter. You're not affected by the modes of passion. Then Srila Prabhupada is giving a practical solution. And Srila Prabhupada even says modern politics. If you are involved in modern days politics, then it is purely in the mode of passion and even ignorance. That means it is not conducive to self-realization. Why are we discussing this? The eldest son of Nahusha didn't want to take the kingdom because he saw that if I accept the post of a king, then I will not be able to understand self-realization. So in that context, Srila Prabhupada is saying one should not be involved in modern day politics, because if you're involved, you won't get that impetus for self-realization. But Srila Prabhupada is giving a solution. If, so again, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Yesterday, I think, not today. In Srila Prabhupada's lecture, Srila Prabhupada was saying, this is in Bhagavad Gita, I think Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam was Srila Prabhupada's lecture. In that, Srila Prabhupada says that Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya means regularly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And then immediately Srila Prabhupada says, Why regularly? Constantly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. 24/7. If you're, that means you're in touch with the Supreme Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So if we are regularly, and Srila Prabhupada says, why regularly? Constantly in touch with Srimad Bhagavatam, then everything which is inauspicious, that means all our attachments and hankerings and everything else will go away. And what will be established? Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Right? Naishtiki means what? Nishta. You'll come to the stage of Nishta simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. All anarthas will be removed. Nashta prayeshu. Prayeshu means most of the anarthas are removed. Which anartha remains? Aparadha anarthas. Anarthas due to aparadhas, they remain. Other than that, all other anarthas are removed. Sukritota, Dushkritota, anarthas are removed. Only aparadhota anarthas remain until bhava. How? Simply by regularly or constantly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada is saying, if you don't want to be affected by the mode of passion and ignorance, what should you do? You should hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day. But there is a catch here also. Are we able to hear Srimad Bhagavatam attentively? Tell me. No. We make some endeavor, right? You turn on the lecture and we are doing so many other things, and more than half or even 75% of it is going above our head. Maybe some words here and there we may hear, not able to connect everything. Why is it like that? So we are making an attempt to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, but we are not actually hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Because we are influenced by the modes of passion and ignorance so much, we cannot even sit and focus on Srimad Bhagavatam. We try to hear Srimad Bhagavatam by doing everything else, isn't it? And then because our attention is distributed in so many things, hardly some percentage of Bhagavatam may go inside. So even though the solution is there, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is the solution to become free from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. Because what is said here, if you are in the mode of passion and ignorance, you will not be able to understand that the goal of life is self-realization. You won't understand that. For you to become serious about self-realization, you have to come to the mode of goodness. But then, even if you are in the mode of passion, if you are spiritually advanced, then you won't be affected. You can still be pursuing self-realization if you're spiritually advanced. Now, what is spiritually advanced? We saw already. So then how to become spiritually advanced? Srila Prabhupada is saying, hear Srimad Bhagavatam every day. But even that Srimad Bhagavatam we are not able to hear. Why? Because the effect of the modes of passion and ignorance is very, very powerful, right? On us, that we are not able to even when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we are not able to understand. We are not able to get the determination to actually follow it, to take that message into our heart and apply it in our lives. It's not coming that far. The reason is we are surrounded by the modes of passion. We are literally drowned in the modes of passion and ignorance. So that's the problem. Then what is the solution? The solution is to move towards the mode of goodness. Move towards the mode of goodness. So again, in the same verse, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam, very heavily Srila Prabhupada says, right? Nowadays, in the modern society, we are simply interested in some businessmen and workers. There's only two. There's only two orders in society. The businessmen or Vaishyas, you can say, and the Shudras, workers. That's all. There is no Kshatriyas, there is no Kshatriyas, and there is no Brahmanas. The society cannot run like that. You need all four. In fact, you need 8. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. And all of them have to be properly trained to do their particular duties. Then you can come to the mode of goodness. And also doing your duties, that's not sufficient. With the goal of coming to pure devotional service. That is called Daiva Varnashram. Right? Doing your duties with the goal of, for the purpose of coming to pure devotional service. Then you will be in the mode of goodness. And so what does it mean? Daiva Varnashram community means you're living in the association of devotees. And your lifestyle is simplified. That means the effect of modes of passion and ignorance is reduced. And what do we do in the association of devotees? What are we doing now? We are all aspiring devotees. What do? We come and discuss Krishna Katha. That's what you will be doing even in a community of devotees. So devotees will gather, will come together, they will hear Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees, from pure devotees. Then the result is, because now you are not so much affected by modes of passion and ignorance, you are in the mode of goodness. And now in the mode of goodness, when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, the message will penetrate your heart and you'll get the determination to actually perform bhakti. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. Right? So you get the determination. You will be able to actually understand the message of Bhagavatam which is being spoken. You'll be able to hear attentively and grasp what is being said in Srimad Bhagavatam. But somehow or other, if you can, by the mercy of Guru, by the mercy of Vaishnavas, if we are able to take this one instruction very seriously, every day you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, you read Srimad Bhagavatam every day, and not just every day, you have to increase the time gradually, but at least start with once a day, right? For some time, every day you read Srimad Bhagavatam, then everything which is inauspicious will be gone. Not everything, most of it. Prayeshu, prayaha, nashta prayeshu, abhadreshu. All the anarthas, and then you'll be able to render devotional service steadily. Simply by reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day, you can come to that stage. That means you'll get full Shraddha and you'll enter into Ananya Bhakti and it'll bring you to the stage of Nishta. If you simply heard Srimad Bhagavatam, and of course, how should you hear Srimad Bhagavatam? Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayon moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva Parairishwaraha Sadyo Hridyavaruddhyatetra Kritibhi Shushrushuvis Tatskshanat. So in the translation, Srila Prabhupada says, when one hears this message submissively, then immediately the Lord becomes situated in the heart of such a devotee. When one shows that eagerness to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and with great submissiveness, one is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, understanding that Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna, the Supreme Lord, then the Lord is immediately, right, he is situated in the heart of such a devotee. So this is the only way, Srila Prabhupada is saying, right? In our present condition. It is specifically mentioned here that if one enters political life, especially in the modern day, one loses the chance for human perfection. That's a very grave statement. You lose your chance for human perfection if you enter political life, especially in the modern day. Nonetheless, it's not a hopeless case. Nonetheless, first of all, it is said you lose the chance for human perfection. Nonetheless, one can attain the highest perfection if one hears Srimad Bhagavatam. This hearing is described as Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So that Nityam is important. Nityam. Maharaj Parikshit was involved in politics, but because at the end of his life he heard Srimad Bhagavatam. So the glory is he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from a pure devotee, Sukadev Goswami. He attained perfection very easily. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions, Sthane Sthita Shruti Gatam Tanuvan Manobhir. Sthane means Sthane Sthita means be situated where you are in that place. Shruti Gatam Tanuvan Manobhir Ye Prayasho Jitajitopyasi Tais Trilokyam. So if one regularly hears Srimad Bhagavatam from a self-realized soul, one is freed from the bondage of material involvement. Regardless of which modes he is in. He can be in passion, ignorance, goodness. But if he is regularly hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and as I said, Srila Prabhupada says, why regularly? Constantly. Right? Like that. Next verse. So the point is the first son of Nahusha decided not to accept the kingdom. He didn't become a king. Pitari Bhramshite Sthanad Indranya Darshanad Vijaihi Prapite Jagaratvam Vai Yayatir Abhavan Ripaha. Is Pragya there, Mataji?
She already left. Mataji. She leaves by 7:12, like that.
7:12. So
Max 7:15. Her bus comes anytime around.
okay. So that is my just trying to see. 7 means my 5:30. So 5:45, before 5:45. Okay, I'll remember. Maybe I'll let her read first from next time when it is her turn.
I think Meda and Prajna, whenever they're there, if they can read.
Yeah.
Based on their turn. Thank you, Padma. No problem.
Sure. Okay, so next is Aditi Lata Mataji and Arunita. Turn it off. Aditi Lata Mataji, are able to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm driving. Arunita will read. Arunita will.
Okay. Translation. Oh, I thought you said Arunita's reading it.
Who then complained to Agastya and then Brahmanas. These saintly Brahmanas cursed Nadasha to fall from the heavenly planets and be degraded to the status of a python. Consequently, Yavati became the king.
So now we are reading about the sons of Nahusha. What happened to Nahusha? Because Nahusha, the father of Yayati, molested Indra's wife Sachi, who then complained to Agastya and other Brahmanas. These saintly Brahmanas cursed Nahusha to fall from the heavenly planets and be degraded to the status of a python. That means Nahusha, by performance of his duties nicely as a Kshatriya, he got enough piety to actually go to the heavenly planets. And when he went to Lord Indra's heavens, there, actually in Mahabharata, we also read he became so proud that he would have the priests, carry him on a palanquin, or even pull his chariot. Instead of horses, he would have the brahmanas pull his chariot. And as we are reading here in Srimad Bhagavatam, he even took Lord Indra's wife, right? So he molested Indra's wife Sachi. And then when she complained to Agastya Muni, he cursed Nahusha to fall down to the earth planet and become a python. So later on we see, and of course when he was cursed, that's when he came to his senses and he begged for forgiveness for his offense. And then there was some remedy given, right? That when Bhimsen would come, right? So he will answer the questions asked by the python. Then he would be released. Nahusha would be released from that python's body. So during their years of exile, 12 years of exile, this was in the last year of exile. The next year they would be, living in Agyatavas. So this is during the last year. Arjun goes to heaven before that, and he's in heavenly kingdom for 5 years. And then he comes back getting all the celestial weapons. And meanwhile, the remaining Pandavas and Draupadi are waiting for Arjun on the Gandhamadana mountains. After Arjun returns and everything, now when they see that it's time, right? It's the 12th year, so they should start coming down now, because they should go back to Dvaitavana, and from there they should be planning where they'll be spending their 13th year of exile. So at that time, as they were descending, it was Chaturmas, right? When it was raining heavily. And at that time, they had to stay. They couldn't travel so much. So during that time, once Bhimsen just ran into the forest alone one day, and he literally encountered this python, who actually got this, along with the curse, there was this boon that the python couldn't go anywhere, but any animal or any being human who would come within its reach, he'll be able to devour that person. Like that person will lose all his power and strength. When he is within the reach of this python, he would lose all his power. So Bhimsen, even though he was so powerful, because of this boon given to Nahusha, when he was this python, Bhimsen came close and he lost all his power. He was literally within the coils of this python. And then he asked his questions, Bhimsen answered, and Nahusha was finally released from that body of a python. So that's Nahusha's history. But here what we are reading is Nahusha, he went to the heavens, and from there he actually got a python's body. And Nahusha had 6 sons. The eldest one, Yati, didn't want to become a king. So now the next one, Yayati, because the father is also not there, elder brother is also not there. So Yayati became the next king. That's the statement here. Because Nahusha, the father of Yayati, molested Indra's wife Sachi, who then complained to Agastya and other Brahmanas. These saintly Brahmanas cursed Nahusha to fall from the heavenly planets and be degraded to the status of a python. Consequently, Yayati became the king. Next. चतस्रिष्वादिशदिक्षु भ्रातॄन् भ्राता यवीयसः कृतदारो जुगो पूर्वीं काव्यस्य वृषपर्वणः. Inba. Hare Krishna.
King Yayati had 4 younger brothers whom he allowed to rule the 4 directions. Yayati himself married Devayani, the daughter of Sukracharya, and Samrishta, the daughter of Vrishaparva, and ruled the entire earth.
So now we are going to read another history. So Yayati is the second son. So King Yayati had 4 younger brothers. Totally there were 6 brothers. Yati left to become a sannyasi. So now there are 5. So Yayati had 4 younger brothers whom he allowed to rule the 4 directions. Something like the Pandavas. Yudhishthir Maharaj became the emperor after the battle of Kurukshetra. And then he appointed his brothers who were assisting him in ruling. Right? So similarly, Yayati had 4 younger brothers and he gave them each one of the 4 directions to rule. Who is this? Yayati. So he allowed his 4 younger brothers to rule the 4 directions. Yayati himself married Devayani, the daughter of Shukracharya. This is again interesting. Shukracharya is a Brahmana, Yayati is a Kshatriya. This Kshatriya king is marrying a Brahmana's daughter. What happened? This is not normal. This is not seen, this is not common. Why did Yayati marry Shukracharya's daughter Devyani? And also, he married Sharmishta, the daughter of Vrishaparva. Vrishaparva is a king. So he married Devyani and Sharmishta. Devyani is Shukracharya's daughter, a Brahmana's daughter. Sharmishta is Vrishaparva's daughter, a king's daughter. And in this way, Yayati ruled the entire earth. Okay? Next. Sri Rajo Vacha Brahmarishir Bhagavan Kavyah Kshatrabandhuscha Nahushaha Rajanya Viprayo Kasmad Vivaha Pratilomakaha. Translation. India.
Maharaj Parikshit said, Shukracharya was a very powerful Brahmana and Maharaj Yayati was a Kshatriya. Therefore, I am curious to know how there occurred this Pratiloma marriage between a Kshatriya and a Brahmana.
Yes. See. Anuloma and Pratiloma. These are the 2 types of marriages. Anuloma is the general type, the normal way of marriage. What is that? A man marries a girl from his same varna. For example, a Kshatriya marrying another Kshatriya girl is Anuloma wedding. Also, a Kshatriya can marry those of a girl from a lower varna. That's also fine. That's also Anuloma only. Right? So, a Kshatriya marrying a Vaishya girl or a Shudra girl is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But a man from a lower caste marrying a girl from a higher caste, this is called Pratiloma. This is not common. Only under some exceptional conditions it may happen. Pratiloma Vivaha. So in this case, Yayati was a Kshatriya and he's marrying a Brahmana, a higher caste girl. So this is Pratiloma. That's what he said, Pratiloma Kaha. Maharaj Parikshit said Shukracharya was a very powerful Brahmana and Maharaj Yayati was a Kshatriya. Therefore, I am curious to know how there occurred this Pratiloma marriage between a Kshatriya and a Brahmana. So this question itself tells us that it is not normal. That's why Parikshit Maharaj is intrigued. What is the reason? So under special circumstances, it may happen. So what were the special circumstances under which this marriage took place? This Pratiloma marriage took place between a Kshatriya and a Brahmana. Purport. Prabhuji, Mataji are there? Inya?
No, Mataji.
Okay. Isha, you're able to read? Purport.
According to the Vedic system, marriages between Kshatriyas and Kshatriyas or between Brahmanas and Brahmanas are the general custom. If marriages sometimes take place between different classes, these marriages are of two types, namely Anuloma and Pratiloma. Anuloma marriage between a Brahmana and the daughter of a Kshatriya is permissible, but Pratiloma marriage between a Kshatriya and the daughter of a Brahmana is not generally allowed. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was curious about how Shukracharya, a powerful Brahmana, could accept the principle of Pratiloma. Maharaj Parikshit was eager to know the cause for this uncommon marriage.
Yes. And also, one more point here is, if somebody is born as from such a Pratiloma marriage, the children born of such a marriage, they are called Sutas, right? So they are also not considered of a high birth. So in general, Pratiloma marriages are not permissible, but under special circumstances they may happen. So yeah, just one more correction here. Anuloma is not same. Kshatriya to Kshatriya is not called Anuloma. A higher caste man marrying a lower caste woman, you can call it, it is called Anuloma, and it is permissible. And of course, marrying from the same caste that's the normal general system, right? Kshatriya marrying Kshatriya, Brahmana marrying Brahmana, that is the accepted system. But also Anuloma Vivaha is also accepted. A man from a higher caste marrying a girl from a lower caste is also accepted. But a man from lower caste marrying a girl from a higher caste is not accepted. It's called Pratiloma, but it happens under special circumstances. So in this case, Yayati married Devayani, the daughter of Shukracharya. So the rest we will read tomorrow. And let's read Bhagavad Gita and Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. So Krishna Ashish will begin reading tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 1, text 12. Please repeat. Tasya sanjanayan harsham Kuru vriddaha pitamahaha Simhanadam vinadyochaihi Shankam dadmau pratapavan. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhan joy. Okay, so what did we read before this? We read that first of all, Duryodhan told Dronacharya that our strength is not sufficient. Aparyaptam means asampurnam. Aparipurnam. It's not enough. Why? Because we are led by Bhishma. Bhishma, he has many qualities. He has Sukshma Buddhi. Sukshma means very fine intelligence. And he has both, he is expert in both Shastra and Shastra, being a disciple of Parashuram. But the disadvantage is he is Ubhaya Pakshapati. He wants the benefit of both the Pandavas as well as the Kauravas. How can such a leader, right? How can an army with a leader, with a commander who wants the well-being of the enemy as well as his own army, how can such an army win the battle? Therefore, we are at a disadvantage. Our strength is aparipurnam. It is not complete. But on the other side, the Pandavas army, it is protected by Bhima. Bhima is inexperienced. He is not as experienced as Bhishma Dev. And his intelligence is not sukshma buddhi. It's not so fine. His intelligence is dull, right? Dull intelligence. And he also does not have, he's an expert in neither Shastra nor Shastra. Duryodhana is speaking, of course. He's envious. But still, their strength is paripurnam. It's complete, it is sufficient. Why? Because Bhimsen has this zeal that somehow or other I have to destroy my enemy. When the leader has this type of determination, such people win the battle. So the message that Duryodhana was giving was, we cannot trust Bhishma. Like, depending on Bhishma, if you're thinking we'll be victorious, because he's loyal to us, there's no doubt about that. But he also has this soft corner, this love for the Pandavas. So therefore now you only have to do something, right? Dronacharya, Duryodhana is saying to Dronacharya. And then in the next verse he said, now all of you must bring all your armies and you should station them around Bhishma Dev and protect him. Because as long as Bhishma Dev is living, we won't lose this battle. Why? Because not only is he favorable to the enemy, he's also favorable to us. That's the thing. He's not partial only to them. He has equal affection for us and for them also. And because he's fighting on our side, he will not let us lose. And nobody can, right? He has this Ichamrityu also. So therefore, as long as he's there, he won't let us lose. So he's our great strength. All of you must just stop everything else and put all your attention in protecting Bhishma Dev. So when Bhishma Dev heard this, he was nearby. He was hearing Duryodhana's talk to Dronacharya. So Bhishma Dev, when he heard this, he could see what was Bhishma Dev observing? Duryodhana's fear, what Duryodhana is experiencing, the fear, and also Duryodhana's appreciation of Bhishma Dev, right? Because he's saying, all of you now, the immediately previous to this is saying, all of you now stand in your strategic positions and give all protection to Bhishma, because as long as Bhishma is there, we won't be defeated. So he has such confidence in Bhishma, such appreciation for Bhishma. So as a grandfather, Bhishma Dev wanted to encourage Duryodhana. So he blew his conch shell. And when he blew his conch shell, for two reasons. One is to dispel the fear in Duryodhana's heart, right? To encourage him, to enthuse him, and also, to make him happy, to give Duryodhana joy, right? So, like a lion, he just blew his conch shell, Bhishma Dev. So that's what is today's verse. Bhishma Dev blew his conch shell, giving Duryodhana joy. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire, he is the oldest age-wise, right? He's the grandfather of all the fighters there on both sides. The great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The grandsire of the Kuru dynasty could understand the inner meaning of the heart of his grandson Duryodhana. And out of his natural compassion, why compassion? He could see Duryodhana is so fearful. Out of his natural compassion for him, he tried to cheer him by blowing his conch shell very loudly, befitting his position as a lion. indirectly by the symbolism of the conch shell, he informed his, but of course, indirectly. Okay? This is a symbolism. What is the symbol? Conch shell. What is conch shell? Conch shell. Who carries a conch shell? Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna? Yeah. Yeah. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Conch shell is there with Lord Vishnu all the time. So that Lord is there now on the battlefield. So by blowing his conch shell, what is the message that's coming from there? By the symbolism of the conch shell, Bhishmadev informed his depressed grandson Duryodhan that he had no chance of victory in the battle. Because the Supreme Lord Krishna was on the other side. But still, it was his duty to conduct the fight, and no pains would be spared in that connection. So, both messages, I am here to fight for you. So, right? He blew his conch shell, giving the message to Duryodhan, I am here to fight for you. But also, the conch shell itself is a symbol of the Supreme Lord who was standing on the other side in the battlefield. So by blowing the conch, he's giving the message victory will be to the master, right, of this conch who's standing here on the battlefield. So you don't have any chance of winning. But at the same time, because I'm on your side, I will give my 100% in fighting for you. But you should know you're not going to get victory like that. So then I actually, the next few verses are about who blew which conch shell. So after Bhishmadev, then on the other side also they blow. So maybe we could read all of them together. I think from 14 to 18, right? We can read them together one day. But today we'll now read Srila Prabhupada's Leela Amrita and we'll wind up. Srila Prabhupada's Leela Amrita. Okay, so remember this person, Robert Nelson. Yesterday we read. So he had come to this Dr. Mishra's studio, and then he saw Srila Prabhupada singing and Dr. Mishra introducing Srila Prabhupada to everyone, and how when he went to Srila Prabhupada told him, right, that he should take to Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Okay, so I'll continue reading. So the next day when Robert went to room 307, Prabhupada invited him in. So now he went to Srila Prabhupada's room. The room was clearly not intended to serve as a living quarters. There was no toilet. I think we didn't read that. So this was still in, so we read until so they went to the library, right, in Dr. Mishra's studio. There was a library. So they went around there. And then Srila Prabhupada said, come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock to his office. That means Srila Prabhupada's room, right? Come at 10 the next day. So the next day when Robert Nelson went to room 307, Prabhupada invited him. The room was clearly not intended to serve as a living quarters. There was no toilet, shower, chair, bed, or telephone. The walls were painted a dark, dismal color. Prabhupada showed Robert the 3-volume set of Srimad Bhagavatam, which Robert purchased for $16.50. Then Prabhupada handed him a small piece of paper with the Hare Krishna mantra printed on it. Robert, while Swamiji was handing it to me, he had this big smile on his face, like he was handing me the world. We went the whole day together. At one point, he said, we are going to take a sleep. So he lay down there by his little desk. And so I said, I am tired too. So I lay down at the other end of the room and we rested. I just lay on the floor. It was the only place to do it. But he didn't rest that long, an hour and a half, I think, and we spent the rest of the day together. He was talking about Lord Chaitanya and the Lord's pastimes, and he showed me a small picture of Lord Chaitanya. Then he started talking about the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, Nityananda and Advaita. He had a picture of the five of them and a picture of his spiritual master. He said some things in Sanskrit and then he translated. It wasn't much of a room though. You'd really be disappointed if you saw it. Robert Nelson couldn't give Prabhupada the kind of assistance he needed. Lord Chaitanya states that a person has at his command four assets: his life, money, intelligence, and words. What do we have? Life, money, intelligence, and words. At least one of which he should give to the service of God. Okay? You can give your life, that would be the best, right? And then you have your money, your intelligence, and words. At least one of these four one must give to the service of God. Robert Nelson did not seem able to give his whole life to Krishna consciousness. And as for money, he had very little. His intelligence was also limited, and he spoke unimpressively, nor did he have a wide range of friends or contacts among whom to speak. But he was affectionate toward the Swami, and out of the 8 million people in the city, he was practically the only one who showed personal interest in him and offered to help. From his experience in the record business, Mr. Robert, as Swamiji called him, developed a scheme to produce a record of Swamiji singing. People were always putting out albums with almost anything on them, he explained, and they would always make money, or at least break even. So it would be almost impossible to lose money. It was a way he thought he could help make the Swami known, and he tried to convince Prabhupada of the idea. And Prabhupada didn't discourage Mr. Robert, who seemed eager to render this service. Robert, me and the Swami went around to this record company on 46th Street. We went there and I started talking, and the man was all business. He was all business and mean. They go together. So we went in there with a tape and we tried talking to the man. Swami was talking, but the man said he couldn't put the tape out. I think he listened to the tape, but he wouldn't put it out. So we felt discouraged, but he didn't say much about it. So we'll stop there. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you all, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. I'll see you
Mataji,
tomorrow.
one small question, Mataji. In a couple days ago, when I couldn't listen in the regular class time, one of the note you made that Prabhupada always says sun rises in India. But is that like a general statement, or sun does rise only in India?
Yes.
How, Mataji?
Rises
So
in
when
the east.
sunrise is happening in US, then what does that mean? I don't know the logic.
You are seeing it from US also, but the sun is actually rising. It's like, okay, so if you say it's rising in US, do you know exactly where it is rising?
Where it is rising. But at
In
the
US,
time in India, it is not rising, right, Mataji? At the time when sun is rising here in India, they're having evening.
Acha, like that, huh?
That's why I was
Okay.
not sure whether it's just a general statement. But I
No,
just
it's not a general. It's not a general statement. It's not a general statement. The actual statement was this. For example, Srila Prabhupada was talking about Bhagavad Gita. So the context is, I'll tell you, the context. It's not about, but actually, there is a place, right? The mountains. No.
Oh.
The mountains. It's called Astachala and Astachala means the mountains behind which the sun sets. And then where the sun rises, I'm not getting it right now, but I heard that also. I can let you know afterwards. But
No problem.
there's a particular place from where the sun is rising and a place where the sun is setting. Just like we know the sun is actually moving, right? So there's actually a location. It's not like, but at the same time, so that is the whole point. So the point here is just as, so maybe Srila Prabhupada gave the example of the sun to explain Bhagavad Gita, but I'll explain Bhagavad Gita and with that you'll understand the sun maybe. So
I
Bhagavad Gita
understand
was
the. Yeah, go ahead.
Bhagavad Gita was spoken where? It was spoken in India, in Kurukshetra. But
Yes,
just
sir.
because Bhagavad Gita was spoken in India, it doesn't mean that it is meant only for the Indians.
Yeah,
Actually,
that
Bhagavad Gita is
context.
for everyone.
Yeah, that context, why he mentioned, I understood, but then I was like, it can't be a simple general statement. Maybe is that true? I don't know.
No, not general statement. It is true. Exactly how I will explain it to you. I will
No
get
problem.
more, information and I'll explain it to you later.
No, thank you, Bhagavad.
Sure. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Is
Thank
that
you, Mataji.
Arunachal? The
Arunachal and Astachal. Yes. Where the sun rises is Arunachal and where it sets is Astachal. Yes. It came in
Thank you.
some, we were reading about, I forget where we were studying it. I don't know if it was in Bhagavad Gita or where we were reading. I'll look in my notes. It should come. I'll let you know.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare